So today's tutorial, I titled it Basic Sewing Tool Suppliers. Oh God. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Chijis Teaches here again. If you're seeing my face for the first time, thanks for stopping by. Do not forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell for new tutorials. And to my subscribers, my existing subscribers, I want to say thank you all for always supporting me. Liking this video helps YouTube send my content around the YouTube space. So today's tutorial, I titled it Basic Sewing Tool Suppliers. Oh God. So today's topic is titled Basic Sewing Tools or Supplies Every Beginner Must Have to Start Your Sewing Journey. It is a must-have sewing supplies. So in this video, I'm going to take you around the basic supplies or tools every beginner should have. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So welcome back to the video. Like we all know, the topic of this video, basic sewing tools or supplies every beginner must have to start a sewing journey. So I think this should be like lesson 4. I do not know, but let's get right into this topic. So talking about basic tools or supplies, I have categorized them into 5 categories. So there are various sewing tools or supplies used in sewing garments for dressmaking, crafts, DIYs, etc. So I will be classifying them into 5 categories. There are 5 different categories of sewing equipment. We have one, which is the measuring tools. We have the cutting tools. We also have the marking tools. We have the stitching tools, and lastly, we have the pressing tools. So before all these tools needed, you will need your material. So I don't have like my African print here. That's the one you all probably know as Ankara. That's the African print. So I have here a lace, a chantilly lace. So it can be a chantilly lace, it can be your African print, it can be your crepe, it can be whatever kind of material you want to use for your sewing tutorial. For any style you want to make, that material, you need to have it in your hand. So let's go into the first sewing tool. Then we have the measuring tools. Okay, measuring tools. These are tools used to take the inches, centimeter, length or width of a human to achieve the right fit of a garment. Example of this measuring tool, we have the measuring tape. So the measuring tape is a flexible ruler with metal tips at the end used to take measures across and vertically, made of fiberglass on humans. So here we have a measuring tape. This is what a measuring tape looks like here. So this is what the measuring tape looks like. So it's calibrated. We have the inches and we have the centimeters. We have the one of 60 inches and we also have the one of 120 inches. So for this particular one is 60 inches. Here, 60 inches. So that one is used to take measurements, your across and your vertical measurements. So we have the rulers. The ruler is used to take straight lines, curved or flexible lines, mostly for pattern drafting. So we have different kinds of rulers. So we have the long ruler. We have the long ruler. In case you have some lines that you want to draw that are very long, you can use your long ruler. We also have the short ruler. These are used for taking straight lines or curvy lines. So we have our curve rulers. So our curve rulers are made up for our armhole curves, hip curves, pant curves, and pattern master. So we'll talk about the armhole curves. I have an armhole curve ruler. This is it. This is the armhole curve ruler. This is what it looks like. It is used for curving armholes when you're drafting your pattern. So still talking about my curved ruler. So this is an armhole curve ruler. It is used for curving your armholes. So when you are drafting and you need to curve your armhole for whatever curve you need, this is the curve ruler you can use. You can also use it when making your corset, your bustiers. Use it to curve that part. So we have our hip curve. So this is a pattern master. In this pattern master, you can get your armhole curve. So you can see this curvy part here. You can use it for your armhole curve. You can use it for your bustier, your corset. You can also use this other part to curve your hips and whatever curve you need. And the advantage of this pattern master is that it has another line here. You can see this part is very straight. So you can use it for your straight ruler. Then we have the pant curve. So this is a pant curve. This is what a pant curve looks like. This pant curve now are used to curve those curvy parts of your pants. When I'm talking about pants, I'm talking about your trousers. So that is that for our measuring tools. So we're going to go to number 2, which is our cutting tools. Our cutting tools, these are tools used for cutting styles either on a pattern paper, cardboard, or a fabric. Like I said, these are tools used for cutting styles either on a pattern paper, a cardboard, or a fabric. So we have a rotary cutter. It is used to cut fabric easily and smoothly, leaving straight and clean cuts. This is not a must-have as a beginner, but if you're privileged to have it, it is okay also. So I'm going to give you the image of what it looks like because I don't have it right now on my table. So we have the fabric scissors or a dressmaking scissors. It's ideal for cutting fabric easily and smoothly. So this is what a fabric or dressmaking scissors looks like. You can see it is used for cutting fabric. We have fabric scissors, we have paper scissors, and we have whatever kind of scissors that we have. So this particular scissors, I use it to cut my fabric. And I do not miss my fabric scissors and my paper scissors. I have a particular scissors I use to cut my fabric so that I don't blunt the sharpness of my scissors. Then I have another one that I use to cut on paper, that is my pattern paper or my cardboard. So we'll go into the pinky shears. This pinky shears now, it helps to prevent fabric edges from fraying. When I say fraying, that is those hairs that come out from your materials. For example, now this, I won't really say that this is a fray, no, because this is a lace material. But you know those frays, those hairs that come out at the edge of a fabric, that is what we call fraying. I'm going to put it in the image above so that you see what I'm talking about. So we'll talk about the electric fabric scissors. These are used to cut many layers, that is multiple layers of fabric. You will see a fabric that is so bulky. You have your fabric, you have your lining, you have so many things on top, so many thick, very thick fabric. So that particular scissors, which is the electric fabric scissors, it is used to cut multiple layers. Because if you want to use this particular scissors to cut it, I doubt if you will get a very smooth finishing and you might end up not cutting the right cuts. So we have the paper scissors. Like I said, it is very useful for cutting on sewing patterns, that is your pattern papers. This scissors is what we use. You can see it goes to cut the paper, cut the cardboard and other things. Please do not use your pattern scissors, that is your pattern paper scissors, to cut your fabric. Please always try to differentiate both of them. So we'll go to the seam rippers. Seam rippers are useful for opening seam to avoid damage on a fabric. I can't overemphasize on that particular statement. This is my seam ripper. You can see it has one red ball here and it has a sharp edge. So this pointy tip now, you put it, this pointy tip now, you put it on the place that you want to rip. You use it to rip it out without causing any damage to that particular fabric. It's not like it's not like using razor. When you're using razor, you might be talking and maybe trying to do other things or trying to be fast, and you just go and rip a part you're not supposed to rip. I noticed that when I was using razor. But there's some people that use razor and they're very good at using razor. For a beginner, I would suggest and advise that you get a seam ripper. I think I bought this, when I bought this was 500 naira as at when I bought it. So I don't know about now. So at the end of this video, I'm going to be giving you the price estimate of some of these items, the ones that I can remember, and how much I got them from the markets. So let's go into the marking tools. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, please, and I hope you are enjoying this video like I am enjoying teaching you guys. So we go into the marking tools. Marking tools are tools used for inscribing, markings, labeling, noting of measurement, either point or across measurement on either the fabric or pattern. So we have some tools here that we use to mark, that is to draw lines, to draw whatever kind of thing, for notations and all. So we have the tailor's chalk. It is used to make temporary markings on fabric or pattern papers, but mostly on fabric. Now, this is an example of what the tailor's chalk look like. It is used for temporary markings on your fabric. So we have fabric markers. Fabric markers are used on the fabric. This can easily be washed away. So we have markers that are used on fabric. You can use them on fabric. After drafting on your fabric with the markers, when you wash it away, it just goes effortlessly. But we have all those permanent markers which we use for pattern. So we have those markers. So that one is used for just drafting on your fabric, not like the permanent markers. These are used for drafting on cardboard or your pattern paper. So we have our pencil. This is an example of what a pencil looks like. This is a 2B pencil. You can use whatever pencil you like for drafting. So this is used for drafting on your pattern paper. As a beginner, I would advise that whenever you're drafting on your pattern paper, always use a pencil. It is more easier to clean whenever you make a mistake. That pattern paper would not be damaged. But once you use the marker and you are drafting and you make any mistake, it's very difficult to erase a marker print. So it's better you use a pencil. This will help you a lot. So we have our eraser. So without an eraser, there won't be a pencil. Without a pencil, there won't be an eraser. So this is our eraser. So that, like I said, when you're using your pencil, it is more easier. When you make a mistake, you just use this your eraser and you erase. So it's just used for removing marks on papers. It's usually have this rubbery consistencies. It's always like rubber, but it cleans. So we have our tracer wheel. It is used for transferring or markings for sewing pattern papers to fabric or another paper. So I don't have that here. I can't find my tracer wheel, but tracer wheels are used for transferring markings. For example, if you have drafted your pattern and everything, you could just carry that same pattern now and put it either on your fabric or on another pattern paper. So that tracer wheel, now you use your tracer wheel to trace exactly what you have on your pattern paper. Exactly, you will see that it's going to leave that mark, that print is going to duplicate. It's just like a photocopying machine. It's going to duplicate exactly what you have on your pattern paper on your fabric or on another pattern paper. It's that simple, and I love tracer wheel a lot. So we have the pattern paper. So I've been talking about pattern paper, pattern paper, pattern paper. So I'm sure a lot of people will be like, what is this pattern paper? What is this pattern paper? So I have a pattern paper here. This is what a pattern paper looks like. So I have just seen like two colors of this pattern paper. We have the brown pattern paper and we have the white pattern paper. But I usually see the brown pattern paper anytime I go to buy. When I ask for white, I'll be hearing stories. So I normally use the brown pattern paper. So as the course of our video, I'll try to bring the white pattern paper so that you see what it looks like. So this is an example of what it looks like. You can see it's just like a brown envelope, but this sometimes is kind of soft, sometimes it's always a bit hard. So this is what a pattern paper is used. It's used for drafting before transferring on fabric. So if you're doing something like a corset or a bustier, or there's some kind of tricky styles that you want to do, manipulation, a lot of manipulation, I will advise you use a pattern paper. So a pattern paper now helps because drafting on your fabric can be very tricky as a beginner, because when you make a mistake now on drafting on your fabric and all, you might not know that, oh, I'm not supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that. After drafting, you cut. Now that mistake is going to be left. That means it has damaged that. If you can't salvage that, it has damaged that particular fabric. So that's why I always advise we should use the pattern paper. With pattern paper, when you make mistake, you can erase it. If it's a one that you can't erase, you can bring another pattern paper and redo your tutorial. You can do your work on it again, whatever you're working on. So pattern papers are very, very important, even as a beginner, even as an intermediate, even as a pro. Pattern paper are very good, very lovely. Always use your pattern paper. So we go into the stitching tools. The stitching tools are used for joining of fabrics pieces together. It's either temporary or permanently. You are either joining it temporary or permanently. We have the sewing machine. So in my next video, I don't know whether it's this next one I'm going to do or in a subsequent video, I'm going to be talking about sewing machines, types of sewing machine, the different types, the one that uses light, the one that don't use light, computerized, embroidery, sergers, etc. I'm going to be talking about that. So for this video, I'm just going to talk about the sewing machine. Sewing machines are used for stitching or joining fabric pieces and other material together to get a full piece. So for example, this is my fabric now. When I have drafted on this fabric, I have gotten the style that I want to achieve using this fabric. I take it to my sewing machine and I stitch all pieces together. My sleeve, my upper bodies, my lower bodies, I join everything together and I form an outfit. For example, like this outfit you have right here by my side on my mannequin, you can see that all pieces have been laid together to form this particular outfit using my sewing machine. So we have different types. We have the domestic or tabletop machine. We have the mechanic or manual machine. We have the industrial sewing machine. We have the overlocker. We have the sergers. We have the buttonhole machine, etc. So that's why I said in this video, I don't want to make this video so long. We're going to do that in a subsequent video. So we go to needles. Needles are used for stitching or joining pieces together. So we have the hand needle, which are used for stitching pieces together, by putting thread into the loop and sewing with your hands. It is used for mending or tacking or fixing of buttons, etc. So I have an example of what a needle looks like. So this is a size 6 needle. This is a size, I think this should be the small needle, or the big one, I think. So this is what a needle looks like. So this is the hole. I don't know if you can see the hole. So you just pass your thread into it. You use it to, it's used for tacking, it's used for mending, it's used for putting buttonhole, used for using for decoration. Hand needles are very, very good and very, very important for a beginner. It helps you a lot. So that is that for the hand sewing needle. So we'll go into the machine needle. So we have the sewing machine needle. We have different types, different sizes. I think I have some sizes of needles here. So now this needle, different machines come with different sizes of needle. But when you're sewing outfits, you have other needles too you will use. For example, you're sewing a jersey outfit. You know, a jersey outfit is always stretchy, so you need like a stretchy needle. So we have here, we have the DP needle here. Yes, so we have this needle. We have size 22, we have size 18, size 10, size whatever, size 24. It depends on what you're sewing, how thick your material is, how thick the layers of the material is. It requires the type and size of needle you would be using. So let me explain what that is. This is placed on a section of the machine. Sewing machine needles makes a passage through fabric for thread to pass through and carry the top thread to the bobbin area where it is cut and formed into a stitch. Sewing machine needles are in different size and used for different fabric, like I said earlier. So that is that for our sewing machine needle. Then we have pins. You see pins, I love pins a lot when I'm sewing. Pins are like my favorite friend in sewing. So I have here, this is like my pin cushion. So I have some pins here that I use here. These pins now are used, they are very essential tools that hold fabric layers together during sewing. They prevent shifting. So pins are very important for a beginner, whosoever you are. If you like be a beginner, if you like be an intermediate, if you like be a professional, sorry, pins are very important. They help you to avoid mistakes. When you're sewing and the cloth is not aligning well, that is where the pin comes in. You first of all, you pin the area you want to sew. You make sure that each lines are fitted, each part is fitted very well, so that when you place it on your machine, you're going to have a clean stitch and everything is going to align well, good seams, aligned seams and all. So that is that for the pin. We have the safety pins. They are used to temporarily fix clothing tears and loose hems, or to create quick fix for broken zippers or button. Okay, here I have a safety pin. So this is what a safety pin looks like. You can see that this safety pin, you see, it has a lock. So sometimes it's used to maybe tack a cloth, try to hold it temporarily till you're able to fix it. You can also use it to pass your elastic threads and all into created holes for that. So it can, still on the safety pin, it can be used to secure clothing items, attach items, and etc. So we have the loop turner. Loop turners are used for turning narrow tubes of fabric through to the right side. You know, when you have sewn, for example, now you're sewing like a spaghetti strap and you have sewn the first line, that is the rough edges. You use your loop turner to pass it out, to bring it out to the good side. So that's for the loop turner. So to the final one, we talk about the pressing tools. So pressing is crucial and very essential to achieve a neat and professional garment. Like pressing is very important in sewing, in making any outfit, in making anything, even DIYs. Pressing is very, very essential. So we have examples of a pressing tool. We have the ironing board. It is a sturdy surface where fabrics are placed and pressing irons are used on. So we have you can, that particular one, you can get a normal ironing board. You can use a table. You can press it on the floor, as long as it is sturdy. You can press anything on. You just put your fabric on top, you put your outfit, and you press. Make sure that the fabric you're putting on top of any place to press, it is neat, please. So we have the steam or dry iron. Talking about the steam iron, it is a combination of steam and dry. Why dry iron are just iron without steam? So an example of a steam iron, this is an example of a steam iron. You put in your water, you pour in your water inside, and you just use it to press. As you're pressing, you're going to be pressing on that part that brings out the steam, so you can see the outlets for the steam. So you use it to press, and it's very good to use a steam iron. So very, very essential. So we have the dry iron. So the dry iron are those irons that you just use like that. You just use it to iron. There's no steam attached. So we have the dry iron and water. So this particular one is the one that we formulated. So you can use your dry iron. You get a spray bottle with water. Dry iron, like I said, this is just a dry iron and then water in a bottle, and you spray and iron to get the steam effect on that fabric. So this is the one that we formulate. Just putting your water in your spray bottle, your iron, you spray on the fabric, then you iron. Very simple. So we have our tailor's ham. It is padded, covered, has an oval shape, used for flatter curves like hip curves, princess seams, sleeve curves, darts, collars, lapel, bustiers, corsets, etc. So these are some tailor's ham that I made by myself. So I'm going to teach you people how to also make tailor hams also. These are very useful when doing corset, bustier, anything curves you want to curve out. These are very good, needed. So we have our pressing cloth. It is a piece of fabric made of cotton or muslin, helps to prevent the garment right side from shining or getting burnt. So this is a fabric that you just place on top of your fabric. You use it to iron. Sure, you understand. So there's no much explanation to avoid it getting too shiny or burnt. So now I'm going to give you some tips. Kindly note that ironing and pressing can be done with dry iron, steam, or iron and spray bottle. The choice of moisture or no moisture depends on the fabric and how deeply the wrinkles are. I'm very sure you got that tip. So like I said, I was going to give you some tips. So we have zip. There are some things I didn't mention, but it depends on the outfit you're producing that will give you some of these materials that you need. So we have some zips here. You can get zips. So it depends on the fabric that you're working on, the style you're working on. So we have zips. You can get in the market for 100 naira, 150 to 200, 500, depending on the type of zip. So we also have elastic. I have a roll of elastic. This is like a 1 inch roll of elastic. Like I said, 1 inch roll of elastic. A roll. I've forgotten how much I got to roll. So we have our masking tape. I use this a lot when I'm trying to pin my paper right on my table. So I also have my, what did they call this again? What did they call this again? What did they call this? I've forgotten this thing. So we have bias depending on the style you want to use. So this one. So we have seam ripper. I told you I got this 500 naira. So we have the tailor's chalk. I think you can get it about, is it 100 naira for how many pieces? So we have the marker. You can get the pack. I got a pack for I think 1,200. That was then. So that is that. For yes, we have measuring tape, very important for a tailor. So this one you can get it for I think 100 naira, 150, maybe it's 200 naira now because of economy. So we have sewing oil. This is our lubrication oil for our sewing machine. When I got this, it was 600 naira. So I don't know about now. So that is that for this tutorial. Thank you for staying with me and sticking with me. Please do not forget to like, turn on your notification bell for new tutorials, subscribe, and above all, I remain your lovely baby, Chijis Stitches, signing out. Bye for now.